It's going on the pasuk. Va'amra ani loy nekresi lovay ala melech zeh shloishim yom. There's handouts over here. Ani loy. You have to give one to Shaul. Ani loy nekresi lovay ala melech zeh shloishim yom. Let's talk about the background, Rabbi Say. Mordechai informs Esther about the Gezerah lahashmid or lahareg is kol haYehudim. Mordechai tells Esther, you better get yourself in there and intervene for your nation. Up until now, Esther loy magedes. Esther had not yet said who she's shayach to, where she comes from. This was Mordechai's cheshbon. This is what Mordechai told her. You're never going to say until I tell you to. It's not going to be time to say, but now you're going to have to say. So you better go to Achashverosh and do something. Esther is fearful. She says, Ani loy nekresi lovay el hamelech zeh shloishim yom. He hasn't requested my presence for 30 days. In her mind, that's a good enough reason for her not to go. Why? A, that's one kasha. B, Mordechai says, afal pikein. Even though you have some cheshbon, if you don't go, revach v'atzola yamed laYehudim v'at v'beis avich oyved. If you don't go, it's your loss. Jewish people will survive, but you'll be gone and you will have lost your chance. So no tirutzim, just go. Let's see how the Maharal explains. The kosha. Ma bekach shloi nikras al hamelech shloishim yom. Vos the nafkamina. Hare, as we know, and the Maharal actually writes it right beforehand, that there was a decree that anybody who goes to the Melech uninvited and he doesn't stick out a sharvit hazov, achaz dosai lahamas. Maharal, right before this, in the Targum Mefarish, ki haman arosha tiken dazeh. Do you know who created this? Where did that come from? What's that? Haman. Why? Why? Says the Maharal, it's not normal. The king is powerful. The king can help. Unless it's a really mean king who's, who's just bad. Haman was bad. But Achashverosh, why wouldn't the king want to go ahead and help people? Trump looks like he wants to help people. He's helping this one, helping that one, etc. A person wants to help. Especially if you're in the power of helping people. Some people have egos and it makes them feel good for themselves as well. It's self-fulfilling. Why would a king sort of remove himself from society and make it such a pachat to come in? It was Haman's idea. Haman created. Haman, in a certain sense, by this way, ended up controlling the country. Because everybody was scared to go to the king. So evil. Haman was able to, take a look what he says, right before this piece. It's not shaykh for a king. Why would a king do this? A king can help and a king can make a difference. Haman was the one who wrote this rule. This came from Haman. So Esther says, Chenish gain, shloishim yoim. I haven't been there. Let me ask you a question, says the Maharal. And if she would have been there, next sentence over there, it's underlined. If it's dangerous to go in uninvited, so it's dangerous to go in uninvited no matter what. The fact you were there for Shloshim Yom, Nizar Shloshim Yom, you're risking your life by going in uninvited, period. So even if she was there 2 weeks ago, last week, 3 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, Mazam Shaneh. If she was there yesterday, but today you weren't invited, yesterday you were there because he called for you. So I just saw you yesterday. Is was kommst da heint? nudge. You're just nudging me, right? What's the svara? Frag them out. What's the svara? The Gemara says, Gemara in Brachas, if you see somebody and you haven't seen him in 30 days, you make a shechiyanu. Why? It's panim chadoshes. The person that you saw 30 days ago, you can say now, shechiyanu, which means, nimtza kol asher lo hoya torch shloshim yom nechshav nestalik mimenu. With if I haven't seen you in 30 days, that means to say out of sight, out of mind, which means, in a sense, I don't need you. You're not in my life. If a person makes a shechiyanu after 30 days of not having seen somebody, that means that this has become a richuk. That's why he said, don't think that because he loves me, he's going to stick out the scepter. Because when I show up, I haven't been there for 30 days, so you know what? I out of sight, out of mind. I am no longer on his. I don't know what he's doing. It's nothing to do with me. I'm beloved. If he really wanted me, why didn't he call me? The teretz is, right, Masami doesn't want me. Says the Maharal, I want to tell you something. 1 second. V'hilo yoda adrabo ki Hashem yizbarach osozeh sheloi hoysa nikris. Why? Absence makes the heart grow fonder. If you love somebody and you don't see him for a while, then you have a groise simcha to see him. If you it was the Eibishter who orchestrated this. Adrabah, v'hi lo yoda ki Hashem yizbarach oso zeh shehoysa nikras b'shvil ki ponim chadoshes b'chavivus b'yoser memashu chavev asher tamen. Too much exposure is oichet nish gut. Too much is, right, what do you want to say?
No, I was going to ask you that. Shafiyan you only make when it's a good friend.
Right.
Because you're reminding you that's a chassid that you didn't see him for 30 days. If it's not a good friend, then you don't make a shafiyan. So I was going to...
He's just talking about the conceptual idea of the shechiyan, that you see that something which is 30 days is something which is ogishet, but enochanami. If you do have a good friend, then seeing him brings aggressor chavivus. Oh, I haven't seen you in such a long time. I'm so happy to see you. That's what the Eibishter wanted, but she didn't realize that. And I want to tell you something very big, and listen to this chiddush. This is a bomb chiddush, says the Maharal. V'oid yesh loime, v'oid yesh lemer oid, rum zedover godol. You know what she said? Let's make a cheshbon. Let's pull out a calendar and talk praktish. Let's talk, when was the last time she saw him? Dahainu. If you make a cheshbon, it was Tezvav, he pulled the girl, I think it was Yudalit. The next day, she was told, go see him. She says, I haven't been there 30 days. Says the Maharal, right? Yes. Says the Maharal. So Yudalit was the girl. Tezvav was the conversation. Tezvav, back it up 30 days, was Yud Gimel Adar. The day that Haman's poor is supposed to wipe out the Jewish people. The Gairo, he made a Gairo, mechodesh lechodesh umiyayim liyayim. It was nafal in Chodesh Adar, and then it was nafal in Yud Gimel Adar. Yud Gimel Adar, right? That is, says the Maharal, make a cheshbon. Why? Ki Adar vehem shloishim yam. Ki Adar hu chaser. Adar is a chaser month. So subtract the 29 days. You're going 16 plus another plus the 15 days from Adar plus another 15 days, Shloishim Yom, on a 29. That means the last time I was there was Yud Gimel Adar. Ramzaloi, do you know what that means? if his poor fell out the last time, it means since then I have been distanced from him. Since then, I have no kesher with him. This is that day, says the Maharal, Ru'uya he ra'ah, she saw, Shapur shehipel Haman yesh boy mamish. You know what? I'm scared, says Esther. There's something to this poor. Ki yoim zeh shehipel apur olav hu yoim muchan litzara. That's a bad day in my life. Why? And I'm the queen of this country, which represents the Jewish people. And I have been banished from him since this day. You know, in the Yiddish world, days make a difference, right? Whether it's the day of Pesach, the day of Yom Kippur, the day of Rosh Chodesh, the days have a koyach in a woman's life, right? They make the Oyna Beinanis, Yom LaChodesh. These days have ashpa. Umepnei kach amra, I think it would be better sheyoser toiv bakoshes achar mepnei kach amra sheyoser toiv bakoshes achar al davar zeh ma'achar shehi roya mazlo neged achashverosh. I, says Esther, I'm in the doghouse. Pardon, I'm misulik from him. That day, Yud Gimel that we're supposed to get wiped out, that's not a good day for me, personally. And I don't know if I'm the one who should be asking. Kasharoy is similar to Ki min Yud Gimel Adar. From that time, Shal Oysa Yom Hippol Apur, Loy Nikreisi Lovay El HaMelech, which means, like the Maharal said, I have been misulik. I've been banished. He used to call me. I'm his wife. I haven't heard from him. What am I supposed to think, says Esther? What I'm scared is that there's mamish to his goyrel. Vikvar marnu ober zolste wissen, says the Maharal. V'nahapechu. V'ki loy, ki lakach loy nikrish shloishim yoim, shekol shorei achar shloishim yoim, hu oyev olav b'yoyse. If you love the person, absence makes the heart grow fonder. The fact that they were separated for that amount of time, which the Eibishter made her more desirable. Mordechai said, you go anyway. You go because you need to go. What's Esther thinking? She doesn't want to be Meiser Nefesh. Shetischayev Misal Amelech. Why wouldn't Esther want to go? Ve'ein zu sheila. She'omer sheyesh laham tamoid zman. I thought Esther was going to go. She was just going to say, maybe we should wait for him to call me. I mean, we have till Yud Gimel Adar, don't we? Maybe we should wait for him to call me. I'll go. But right now, I'm not in a good place. Right now, I haven't been called. Let's wait till the king shows a little bit affection. Let's see the king shows that he cares about me, and then I'll go. Adarabba. Oidzman ma ad sheter asha sheter rosh ad likras lava el hamelech v'osadaber, and then I'll ask my sheila. Ki adarabba ata yala chamas hamelech. He's going to be upset at me. V'lo yela sofik ein lasas they given shiachal hamtim. If I could wait, so let me go ahead and wait. Adarabba. On the underline, yesh lishol ma ra Mordechai shenichshus b'sofik lava hamelech shloi kedas lama lo yimtin eze yamim. Why was Mordechai taka pushing for this to happen? Let Mordechai wait. She's got a good time now. It's been 30 days. In her mind, he's not interested in me. It's only Nisan. The Gezerah just came out. Let's plan this out. Give me a week or two. I'm sure he's going to call me then. And once he shows interest in me, then I'm going to go ahead and ask. Azoi frek de Maharal. I want to teach you a teretz, says Mavanira Loimar. Ki gorel shipel haman tzorech shei nahapach olav legamri. Ki zeu hatzolas Yisrael. Haman Haman's Goyrel, if Haman's Goyrel is going to be chal on the Jewish people, it's possible that the Midas Hadin will take effect. Mordechai said, we have to take that gezerah off immediately. We have to make it that it's not even chal. Let's see what he says. Mordechai yoda mipnei ki hagezerah azois yoytze benissen v'kach tzorch sheteitz hagezerah atzma v'nehepcha al zerah amolek lias ne'erogin. It has to be that the gezerah should not be chal on Klal Yisrael. Ki avshloi nepach hagor ba'oisa yoim atzma shehipol hagor ein ze kosher. Even if it doesn't turn around on that day. Ki hoya misaskim bedover beizer gimel yomim v'chol zman she'oiskim bezeh, as long as they're busy, nechshav ki'ilu b'tach. When you're handling something like matzah, when you're squeezing it, you're making sure it doesn't grow, so therefore it's still considered zerizus. As long as we're doing it now, v'chol zman she'oiskim bezeh nechshav hakol b'zman echad b'sha'achas. Avol soif hoy nefilas agar la haman hakol b'zman echad v'chein ro k'moy shayoym higbel. The Haman said Yud Gimel Oder kacha ma'aseh laharges b'nei Haman v'zera kol haya b'Yud Gimel Oder. In other words, everything happened b'toich zman. Kach Omar Mordechai im hachreish tachrishi ke'eis hazois revach v'atzol yamlu b'mokam acher. Meaning to say, I know for sure be'eis hazois. This is going to change around now. Because this gezerah can't be chal on Klal Yisrael. It can't be that this should, if you don't stop it now, that means that the gezerah was chal. If the gezerah is chal, then it's shaykh that Klal Yisrael should be wiped out. And that can't happen. So therefore, im hachreish tachrishi le'eis hazois. Take a look at the other under. Shemezeh tira, kol inyan hazeh. Shaloi laver hazman asher hipil hapur shemuchan lias nepacholav. Toich zmanei mamish. What happened? Mordechai put on his sack. Esther found out about it immediately. Mordechai tells Esther, let's go. She says, okay, tsumu alai shloisha yomim. Start fasting. So Klal Yisrael is already bipu'ula. Ephraim is already doing something about it immediately. The first thing we need to do is fast for 3 days. So Esther says, look, I can't go in until 3 days because I need, and by the way, they fasted and didn't eat and drink at nighttime.
3 days straight.
3 days straight, which is basically Mesiris Nefesh. Basically, they're saying we have no reason to live. Because if this gezerah goes through, we're dead anyway. So therefore, they're mechal upon themselves this gezerah that we are pashut giving ourselves over to the Eibishter. And this they did ki'ish echad b'leiv echad because there was nothing holding them back. On that night, b'layla hu nodat ashnas hamelech, Haman shows up to hang Mordechai. Before the day is over, Haman is dead. Before the day is over, he's already dead. By the time Chalamoid Pesach came along, they were already able to go on the Chalamoid trips, they were able to celebrate. Right? Haman was dead by that time. He was gone. That's like the sledgehammer, like exactly like we said, it boomeranged back. And Mordechai said it has to happen miyad. If it's not going to happen right away, it's going to be chal. So therefore Mordechai says it can't be toy chazman. I want to tell you a mashal, Chamamol Gehert, a mashal. Somebody once told me a story about the Satmar Rebbe. Satmar Rebbe had one of his balabatim who was closing a very, very big deal. Multi-million-dollar deal of hundreds of millions of dollars. And he promised to the Rebbe $10 million if the deal goes through. The balabus was in Manhattan with their lawyers, and the deal was set to be closed around lunchtime. And he told the Rebbe, on my way back to Monroe, I'm going to bring the Rebbe a check. I'll give the Rebbe a check. The Rebbe calls him up at lunchtime, at noon. He says, Rebbe, I thought we'd be done. It's going to be a few hours. Okay. But 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the Rebbe calls him up, Vihaltman. He says, we're stuck on a few different things. The Rebbe can daven in. Maybe you should daven for me. We should get out of this. Fine. The Rebbe zog, the guy zog. 8 o'clock at night, the Rebbe calls up. He says, Rebbe, ich bin du me endig choin. Okay, we're going to finish soon. Okay, ich kem tzedek. 10:30 at night, the Rebbe calls. He says, Rebbe, we just finished signing. We just finished signing. Ich bin schon du von 8 Uhr in der Früh. I'm here since 8 o'clock in the morning. Rebbe, I'm coming back now. The Satmar Rebbe says, come to Miglach. Till I get from Manhattan till Monroe. Come to me right away. That's at least an hour and a half to get from Manhattan. Means he's going to show up by the Rebbe around midnight. No, the Rebbe gehasten, so he came. He came, he gave the Rebbe the check of 10 million. He says, Rebbe, can I ask you something? Can I ask? I spent a whole day in Manhattan. I was there if I was there at 8 o'clock in the morning already, I already woke up. I had to come tonight. I couldn't come to, the Rebbe doesn't trust me. So the Satan Rebbe said, Kol Zman, you didn't go to sleep. He says, mein Geld. As soon as you go to sleep and tomorrow you have to give me the check, so shoin dein Geld. It's already a whole different story. If you would have gone home and you would have gone to sleep, it would already been shoin now, you're shoin Trachten, Jens, and this. As long, Toich, Dover, Mamish, now it's mine. Now, Ke'ilu, now du gibst nicht von deine. You give the whole time, says Mordechai, the whole time we're going to make this happen right. It's not, it can't be chal. This gezerah cannot be chal. So you have to go now. What does now mean? Says the Maharal. We need to fast a few days, beseder. But we're busy with it, and it has to happen now. If it doesn't happen now, then it's going to be chal. If it's going to be chal, and who knows what could happen. So that was Mordechai's taina to Esther. You need, Adarabah, what was Mordechai? The Teretz is, this gezerah is not on the Jewish people. You know what this gezerah is on? It's on Amalek. It has to be Amalek's gezerah. So miyad, it's going to be, and Taka, what happened? 75,000 of them died. 75,000 of them died. At the end, Klal Yisrael went to war. Couldn't rescind. Michtav, a letter that the Melech wrote, doesn't go back. So what happened? Klal Yisrael fought. That's why we fast. Because it was a Yom Milchama. We fought. But we fought with the confidence of knowing that the Eibishter was on our side because v'nahapach. So the Baruch Shalom help from Be'ezras Hashem Yisbarach. We should be zoicha b'korev mamish. The way it happened back then, and this was a catalyst to Bais Sheni, the Eibishter will help, and we should have Bais Shlishi b'korev mamish. Amen.